says rotate your phone. You can't turn your phone while recording. I don't understand that. Okay. You know what? I guess you're just going to have to hold the phone.
Okay.
We're still live.
Yeah.
Just that for some reason, Facebook doesn't want to cooperate. Okay.
Yeah.
There we go.
Well, everybody, this worked last week.
Well, anyway, so we're still live. So
Yes,
anyway,
we're live.
last week we had a caller call in about the waterfowl that were dying up on one of the northwest or northeast Indiana lakes, and so DNR is on top of it right now, and they're checking it out. But apparently, there's been several cases of this throughout Indiana, and so they suspect that it's just a natural toxin that's in the water and it has nothing to do with people dumping anything. So we'll hear about that probably within a week or two, but they think it's avian cholera that's going around killing some of the birds, and it's not unusual at this time of year when the ice finally melts and some of these toxins are released by the algae and stuff down underneath. So today we have a long topic to talk about, and that is what? Well, that's great. Oh, bird housing. Okay, so we're going to talk about taking care of the birds, and a lot of the birds are coming back. We have the wrens; they're on their way up. They're down there in Kentucky now and southern Indiana, so they're coming back up. The robin or the bluebirds have been here all winter long, going around begging food at the feeders, and my guys, I guess, ate enough peanut pieces and stuff like that they're satisfied. Purple martins, they're not too far away. The early arrivals for these guys is March 15th, so they're 5 days away. And so they'll be coming back, particularly what they call the scouts or the males that are coming back. They usually come back first. Robins have been here, but the robins have been here are the ones that are going to go north. They're going back to Canada. I hope they have their vaccinations and their passports so they can get across the border. So the robins are starting to move out, but don't worry, there's robins coming up from down southern Indiana where they've been fattening up over the winter. And then, these guys have been around all winter. The screech owls have been around here all winter, along with the kestrels. They've been here. And so have the barred owls. So some of these guys have all been around here. And but they do need a little help with their housing. So today we're going to talk about bird housing. And so the first thing we have to do is consider who may nest in your yard, Well, primarily the birds that are going to nest in your yard that will use houses are cavity nesters. And the type of birds that are going to be there it's going to depend upon the type of yard you have. So some particular type or some types of birds that are going to be cavity nesters that you can find in your yard are things like chickadees, nuthatches, white-breasted nuthatches. I'm going to really work Gigi today. Downy woodpeckers, okay. The little tufted titmice. But some of the other guys that might use that might be a little different and you might find around your house are things like phoebes.
I have them. They're
You
cute.
have those.
Yes.
Those are neat. And let's see, great crested flycatchers.
Yep.
Those are cavity nesters. Or, if you're lucky enough to have a pond or something like that with a marshy area around it, you can get some wood ducks nesting in boxes. Or you might get things like the hooded mergansers. And so those are really cute. Those are really neat birds. So, and also you may get something like tree swallows. Tree swallows really like to be around, particularly if you have a pond or something like that in open grassland. So those are some of the birds that may use nesting or artificial nest out there for you. But who may nest in your yard is going to depend upon the kind of yard that you have. If you have a forested yard, in other words, a lot of big trees and stuff like that around, well, you'll get woodpeckers, you'll get the nuthatches, you'll get the chickadees. But if you have a house that's with a big lawn around it, that kind of thing, then you're going to get things like bluebirds, tree swallows, sometimes some wrens. But if you have a flower garden, okay, if you have a flower garden, that's just natural for things like the wrens. And if you have a combination of the forest and the flower garden, then you may get some of the other guys. But so typically you're going to get the wrens with their little cheerful song in the morning. And if you have no yard at all, don't give up. Because there are other birds that'll come around, like the robins. They will nest in little shelves and things, and some of those great crested flycatchers, and some of those birds that just need a perch to sit on. Okay, so there are things. Large lawns again. Purple martins would be great for that. So you have to know what species you can attract before you decide on what kind of. So it's just kind of like humans. Where do you go buy a house? Well, where you get the best school, if you want. Where you have convenient grocery shopping, convenient gas station, new movie theater, whatever it is that makes you happy. Or nobody at all, or nothing at all. Okay, so it just depends. So you build your house where you have the conveniences that you need, and so the same way with the birds. The birds like to be where there's food, where there's convenience, and that kind of thing. So what species do you want to help? Okay, so some birdhouse basics. What species do you want to help? What are your houses? What should your houses be made of? Where do you put them? And how do you take care of them? So first off, you design for a species. The important thing, is that my hand in there?
Yes.
That's my hand in there. I'm sorry. Yes. Can I help?
Yeah, right.
So design for the species. So all the species have specific size cavities that they like to build in. So so for something like a wren or a chickadee or a nuthatch, they can use smaller cavity space, and also they would prefer a little bit smaller hole, but the hole has to be exactly the right size for the bird. An eighth of an inch does make a lot of difference, so size matters. So the cavity size is important, how deep the cavity is, how wide it is across the bottom, so that the bird can safely go in and have the nest down at the bottom of the cavity, sort of out of harm's way, away from where prying feet or prying eyes can see them. The other thing is the entrance hole, like I said, is very particular. So you have to have the right size. If the hole's too small, they can't get their shoulders through. Most of these holes in these boxes are designed so that the bird can almost fly into the hole. So it folds up the wings and right in. So what do you make a bird box out of, or what should a bird box be made out of? So there's basically two materials that you can use, wood and plastic. And sometimes you really see some weird things out there. I've seen some birdhouses made out of number 10 tin cans and things like that. Yes, but well, it sometimes works for them.
Yeah.
So anyway, so if you're going to get a wooden birdhouse, you want cedar or pine. Those are the best materials. It should be untreated wood. You don't want treated wood because treated wood has a lot of chemicals in it, and those gases and stuff come out and can poison the bird. So you want untreated wood, and I always choose 1 inch thick material, okay, because that has good insulating properties. It insulates against the heat, and also insulates against the cold. So 1 inch, and it also gives something like woodpeckers or something can chew on or pound on. So if you decide that you need to paint it or something like that, use latex stain or paint, or latex paint, because you don't want oil-based paints which will outgas and won't be acceptable to the birds. Yes, they are sensitive to smell. And I always choose that you you buy a house or build a house using screws, because invariably somebody comes along and destroys part of your house. There'll be a squirrel come along and start gnawing on something, especially if he decides that that's a perfect place to move in, so he'll gnaw the holes and the entrance holes bigger so he can squeeze in. Woodpeckers like to pound on the sides of them because they make good sounding boards, and after a while there's little holes in there. And sometimes there's just flaws in the wood, when it cracks and breaks apart or something. And you have to take out the piece and put a new piece in. There are some plastics that are good. You can get some good heavy vinyl plastic, and I'll go into that in a few minutes. or you can get this stuff they call Eco Tough, and it's recycled plastic. In other words, old milk jugs and stuff like that that are recycled, and it's a good material. It's really holds up well. You know, it is a little more costly, a little more expensive, but you can go and you can get houses made of that. So we're going to take a look at a few houses. You want to take a walk with me, Gigi?
Sure.
Sure.
Here we go.
There we go. So the first house I'll start with. Everybody clear out of the way to get out of the picture. So, this is a basic shelf unit. This has been a little used. I have to put it back up, you know, a little ways. But this, I've been using this now for about 12 years. And this is a robin roost.
Oh.
And so this is a shelf that a robin can build in. Also, a barn swallow could use it. They would also use a shelf like this, and also our friends, the Phoebes and Peewees, would also use it if you had it mounted too. So this is a house that you can fasten right to your house in a nice secluded place. This one here sits on top of my electric meter. Don't tell AEP. Anyways, it sits right there, and it's right behind a bush. And the robins just love it, you know, so they use it year after year after year. So this is a basic unit. In fact, in my barn, what I've done is I've put up a number of shelves under some of the beams, and the Phoebes and Peewees use that, and they roost on there, and so do the barn swallows, as a matter of fact. So just something simple, something basic, you know. So I'll put that down. We'll walk over this way. Come on.
Okay. Here we go, everybody.
Here we go, everybody. So here's some examples of different bird boxes that you can get. This, of course, is a store-bought one down there at Wild Birds. And this is a wren box, or it can be used for chickadee. And the thing is, like, this is a cedar, and the nice wood thick, you know, it's thick. Okay, so 1 inch thick. It's got screws in it, that kind of thing. And then you just a little latch here, you know, to fasten it. And also, and this one is a two-way, so you can either open the side if you wanted to watch what's going on and for easy cleaning, or just leave the side down and look in through the top and see what's happening inside. So this is a typical little wren box, you know, and has an adequate amount of space in there. The nice thing about these is, well, first off, if you want to see what the birds are doing, just watch these. Now, I have several of these boxes around my yard. I hang them about this high up off the ground in a tree, you know, where there's bushes or leaves and branches over top, so that the birds can get in and out, and it offers them some protection from the weather, and also they're a little bit protected from overhead raptors coming in. And then we get into bluebird boxes. This is a simple bluebird box, okay? And it has a little swing down. It's got a little nail here too, so you can latch the door. And this is what they call a slot box. Okay, so this is for bluebirds, and it's about the right size for them. Can go in this way.
They can get in there?
Yeah, they can get in there.
Wow.
You'd be surprised how small they are. They're not like these big birds like that. So this is one you can get, or if you're a wood butcher like me, you can build your own. In fact, let me go over here real quick. I'll sell this book. So this is Woodworking for Wildlife. This is a nice little book. And it's got lots of plans inside for building boxes.
Oh, neat.
And the plans are simple, okay? So people like me can build these things. And they're one board type birdhouses. So, you know, so you can look in here and, well, there's a kestrel box. Let's see, flicker box. There are a little few more complicated ones. And like the house wren is like one board. I guess it's 1 6 foot board, you know, 4 inches wide. Okay, so anybody can build something like that. In fact,
I need to buy that for my husband for his birthday.
Oh, okay, there you go.
So you can build your birdhouse.
Right. So he can build me a birdhouse.
And there's a few other things like how to make a mourning dove nest. You know, some of you are really familiar with mourning doves, and they make the worst nest in the world.
True.
I don't see how they survive it, but yeah. But if you have a worry about your mourning dove, you just make a little disc with hardware cloth, put it in the tree. You know, take some tie wraps, tie it on, and there you are. So, but so I used that book, and I made this bird
And you built
box.
that? Oh.
It took me all 20 minutes. Okay.
Wow.
And look, I got all my fingers. So it's so that's a simple box. Side opens.
Oh.
Okay. And so I'm going to tell you how about maintenance. This is a nice plastic box, and this is one that a lot of people are getting these days. It's simple, and you can buy it with this nice piece of conduit, and the box fits on top of the conduit if I can find the hole. And there you go. It's all ready to go. So you just shove it in. Piece of rebar here goes into the ground to hold it, and there you are. And
So that height off the ground
this
works?
height off the ground works just fine. So this one is a simple one, and the birds do use these. So we, and then if you want to get other birds in, like woodpeckers, and I'll tell you what, my woodpeckers like these. Okay, I have them winter, and that's another reason why you get this nice thick stuff, because some birds winter in these boxes, so it gives them insulation. So, but this is a woodpecker box, and so the bluebird boxes go about that height off the ground. Okay, wren boxes, I usually put mine up about as high as I could reach conveniently into a tree or a bush or something like that. So woodpecker boxes, again, really simple construction, easy to get into, and they come with a little bit of shavings for the bottom for the woodpeckers. You don't have to do that for the bluebirds or the wrens. The wrens push all kinds of sticks and stuff into theirs. The bluebirds, they make a nice little cup nest with grass and stuff, and they weave it. And these guys here, they just need some shredded material on the bottom. And you don't want to use hardwood type of material, because hardwood has all kinds of dust on it, and it irritates the birds and can get into their nostrils. So soft wood, so pine shavings, cedar shavings, something like that. And let's see, so woodpecker boxes, those go up a little bit higher. They're going to go up about 10, 15 feet in a tree. Okay, and again, you need a forested yard for that. You want to use it. You won't get too many woodpeckers in a big lawn. Okay, so and then let's see what else we got. Oh, here we go. Here's something for my little guys. Okay, so we have Kestrel boxes. Come on, Homer. Oh, that's Georgie. No, that's Homer. Hey, Homer. Look at this. Got a box for you. So this is a Kestrel box. And again, same plans out of that book over there to build this. We followed a little bit different directions than they did. I put a cleat up here. That makes it easier to put the top on with one screw. And, but so this kind of a box, don't put anything in there. Let them go in there and put material into the box, because because a lot of times that softwood shavings and stuff like that absorb moisture. These for the kestrels here, you want to put that box on the side of a building, a barn, say. You can put it on a pole, but you want it somewhere where there's sort of it's open area where they can get to a lawn, say. We have these kestrels. We have them nesting right downtown. That's why I said, even if you don't have a lawn or something like that, you can still put up a box. So we have a kestrel box right down there by O'Sullivan's, that's being used. Okay, so and there's one over there at the GE building. So they would use a box like this, and so lots of room in there for them, right? Okay. And then, woo, what you see, okay. I think I hear somebody complain. He says, that's my box. So, if you have screech owls around, you can, they can use this box also, except you want to put these in the woods, all right? Or at least in under the trees. I have one of these boxes up in front of my house. It's about 20 feet from the door, and the screech owls like it. So they spend their time in there again. So who's that? Frankie? No, that's Frankie.
That's Frankie. Yeah.
That's Frankie. Hey, Frankie. Yeah, here's your other house here. Look at this. So, okay. No, you're not gonna look at that. I forgot to bring in the Powerdale box. I'm sorry. So here we go. This is a nice little box for these guys, and again, nice wood inch. 1-inch wood, okay? And yeah, we have boxes like this in their pens that they can use. And you want to go in? He's checking it out, okay. Yeah, okay. I guess he wants to move in. I like that model. Okay.
Sorry.
So anyway, so that's one of the things. You can put that in a tree. So you want to put it up about 15, 20 feet up in a tree, in the woods. And you want to make sure all these boxes, you want them to face south or to east, okay? You don't want to get that north wind, and you definitely don't want to get that hot afternoon sun. So when you orient them, it's best to, now of course the thing is that a lot of you will want to orient them so you can see it from the house, So the birds may not
Guilty.
have that kind of thing. So, and unfortunately, I brought another cabinet yesterday, but I forgot to bring in his house. I'm sorry.
Is it here or at your house?
No, it's in the.
You want me to go grab it?
Yeah, you can. Oh, well, it's too late now.
Okay.
Okay. So anyway, well, I'm not gonna. Indy?
Marshmallow.
Marshmallow. I'm sorry. I didn't know you were out. Okay, Marshmallow. Okay.
Yeah, okay,
How you
Marshmallow.
doing? So Marshmallow, here's a barred owl, and essentially what Marshmallow's box would look like about this, but it's half again bigger. But it's the same design, same basic design, and oh boy, I didn't say that bad word. Okay, so it's the same basic design, Now a lot of these, and actually the barred owl box is about the right size for a wood duck or a merganser. So all these boxes that can be purchased down there at your local bird store. Okay, so down there, Wild Birds Unlimited, they have all these different houses, and they're easy to put together. They're easy to put up, to install. Yeah, I don't know. What are you complaining about? You want to move in? Okay.
He wants a new box.
It's a new box. He says, I've used the old one.
Yeah.
So anyway, so that gives you an idea of different sizes. And again, different size box for different size birds. All right. So and again, hole size is important, and so the hole size is going to determine which birds fly in there, or which ones don't. Now the other thing is, and unfortunately I don't have them on any of these. There should be you can get predator guards to put around the outside. That's usually a 1-inch thick piece of wood with the proper size hole drilled in it, and that keeps animals from reaching in. Like say a raccoon or something like that, or nosy children. So okay, so let's continue on with our little program, and we got off to a late start. I'm sorry.
Yeah, technical difficulties.
Technical difficulties. Yeah, worked last week. I guess we're just lucky.
Crazy.
Yeah. So all right. So let's see if we can get this back together here. And this is one of the things I was going to. Whoops. Oh, okay.
Yep.
We're delayed.
good.
I forgot.
Yes.
There's a delay. Oh, yeah.
It's confusing.
Yeah, I
looking
know.
at
It's
that.
just, yeah, I had that trouble down at the TV station looking, and I was looking, and I could see myself delayed.
Yeah.
So anyways, purple martins, and this is an example of a plastic house. These martins use these gourds. They're pseudo gourds, of course, because they're not the natural gourds. You can raise your own gourds, I guess. I've tried that, but unfortunately I left them in the barn to dry, and the squirrels decided they wanted to have more fun with them. So end of that project.
Will
But
other birds go in these
Oh
also?
yeah. Nancy has a set of them over there, and they really like these as opposed to the typical house. Now, with the houses, I find that the martins really like a wooden house, as opposed to. In fact, when I first moved out to my house, I put up 3 of them, and the first year I had all 3 boxes full. So I've probably had let's see, what was it, 12, 24, 36
Wow.
pairs of martins in my backyard.
Wow.
So, but these do work real well. You'll see a lot of them out there in the Amish farms. And where you put these, you can put those out on a big open lawn out there around your house, about 25, 30 feet away, because you got to give them some room to fly, to get around and that kind of thing. So So there's a lot of different choices you can make. There's a lot of different kinds of birds you might want and for different reasons. Like we're putting up a martin house out here because we want to keep the bugs down, because we don't want our raptors being eaten by bugs. And so so these work real well for us, or could work real well. Same way with the shelves, we're putting those up. That's because we have barn swallows out here. In fact, the barn swallows want to take over our pens when we're constructing them. They thought that it was theirs. And so we have some shelves put up for them. And then we'll be putting up some bluebird boxes for the bluebirds, because we have those out. And it was kind of surprising. The bluebirds have taken over a bat house. Apparently a squirrel put a hole in a bat house. And so now the bluebirds have taken over the bat house. Poor bats. So.
Yeah.
But again, this is a natural insect control. So it takes care of the birds, takes care of us. So anyways, we'll continue on. So how do you take care of the house? What should you do? Right, go out there, check them right now. Repair the cracks, if there's any cracks or anything like that, because you don't want water and bugs getting into the house itself. If the doors have been expanded by, say, chewing squirrels or something like that, you can get little fillers. You can go down to Wild Birds. They have these little discs that you can put over top of the hole, and it'll cover over the damage. Always clean after fledging. When the babies fledge out and they're gone, get in there and clean the thing out immediately. All right, get rid of the old nest, that kind of thing. Get rid of that old poop and bugs and things, and clean before nesting. In other words, right now, let's see, I have field mice in some of my bird boxes. I have one red squirrel that has taken over one. So I have to clean him out, and again, the woodpeckers have taken over the one. So basically, cleanliness is going to help you with the success of your box and your nesting. One of the things you can do is you can take something like diatomaceous earth, okay, sprinkle some of that inside after you clean the box. Go in there, sprinkle some of this around on the floor. It's good for getting rid of things like let's see, ants, fleas, bed bugs, earwigs, other things. There's several types of bugs that will chew on the babies, and so this gets into the shell and irritates them, so it gets rid of those.
Gross.
The other thing you can do is use a mild insecticide like Sevin, and this works real well. So what I do is I take a little bit of that Sevin powder and blow it in there, okay? So it kind of dusts the place, and that kind of keeps the bugs down. And then finally, here's a secret that you should know about. One of the things I do is I take a little bit of Vaseline and I rub it on the ceiling, all right? So I take the roof off, turn it, side of the ceiling, and I rub that Vaseline on there, and that keeps wasps from attaching their nest to the top of the birdhouse. So, you can tell I'm just really lazy. I don't want to do much work, so I do all these things. So you can do something like that, so to make life easy for you, but also make life better for the birds. So the placement, where do you put these houses? Well, I think I've talked about it. Wrens typically like little flower gardens. They like to be in the bushes or something like that, somewhere where it's secluded, but also I hang it from a branch that's covered with leaves and things, so it hangs underneath, so it's shaded, and I get them, like I said, about as far up as I can reach. That's about as much as you need. You don't want it too low because you don't want it susceptible to predation. Bluebirds and tree swallows, I showed you a box there about at eye height, and you place those about every 75 yards, so you can make a whole trail of them, okay? So that the bluebirds and the tree swallows can use those areas. And so again, the bluebirds will eat a lot of insects. They like nice soft insects to eat. Tree swallows are out there getting the bugs flying around the air. So it's really good for your area. Woodpeckers, again, put the boxes up about 12, 15 feet up on the tree. Again, you don't want it facing west, okay? So south, east, and you don't want it facing north either, because all that snow blows in the hole. Martins, they like a big grassy area that they can fly over. So the martins, again, about 20, 30 feet away from the house. So they have lots of space to fly around. No trees, okay? They don't need trees. What they need is a good, clear pathway. You can put them out there next to your barn or, other place where you're working. Robins, I showed you the shelf. The shelf can be up there about shoulder height, is good for them, or a little higher than that. Under the soffit of the house, if you have a low, if you're a single story house or something like that, that really works. Kestrels, you want to put them up about 15, 20 feet up on the side of a field. So, you can put them on a building. You can put them, we got some of these kestrel boxes up on top of silos, grain silos, because they're on the lookout there for mice and things like that. So but sides of buildings, again, you don't want them facing west, okay, or north. You want them south or east, so you don't get that hot, And again, they don't need trees, okay, per se. What they need is open space so they can go hunting and looking for those mice and things. Owls, wherever you have trees, you can put these boxes up about 12, 15 feet up. And, they can be in town. They can be out of town. We have nesting owls all through Fort Wayne. So, there's it's surprising where you find some of these. But, where there's food, there's birds. Okay, so as long as there's prey out there, they're going to be out there getting it. So you can bring them to the house. It looks like I went over time, didn't I? So for protection, again, the placement's important. Again, you want to put the boxes in the right place. You don't want to put the boxes next to the dog or cat kennel, all right, that kind of thing. You can get baffles to put on the poles so that critters can't crawl up. These thin conduit poles are pretty good that, not too many raccoons can get up something like that. What I do is I take some silicone spray and I spray them down. That makes it extra slippery. But you can get baffles that you can fasten on. One of the big things is house sparrows. What do you do with house sparrows?
Yeah.
And so they're a real problem. You can put out extra boxes for the house sparrows to move into. And if you suspect that you have a house sparrow in the box, what I do is I knock on the side of the box and I kind of drive them out. If that doesn't work, the other thing you can do is wait till they get well established in there, and then go out at night with a mason jar, put the mason jar over the hole, knock on the side, the bird flies into it, you trap them, then you take them out to the country and let them loose. Okay? Cats, keep your cats indoors, okay? And so the big thing there is keep your cats indoors. If the neighbors' cats are coming over visiting, shoo them, tell them to go home, that kind of thing. And then finally, monitoring. If you're going to go out there and you're going to be curious about what's going on in the house, it doesn't hurt to make a trip and take a little peek or something like that. Occasionally. Yeah, because constant monitoring is going to really disturb the birds, So basically, go in there, take a look, and then, because one of the things that happens is you could drive the birds away. The other thing is, every time you go, the dogs or the cats or other predators are watching you. And where they see where you go, and then they hear the chirping sounds from the baby birds and things like that. And then all of a sudden, there they are. So you got to be careful with your monitoring. Yes, it doesn't hurt to take a look, but don't do it too often. So enjoy your feathered neighbors, okay? I like to hear the nice songs of the birds out there in the morning, and it's great. They're out there, collecting all the worms and bugs and stuff around your yard, that kind of thing. But, so you can put out a nice house for them. And I'll tell you one thing, just because you put out a nice house doesn't mean you're going to show up. I put out a nice house for my Carolina wrens, and I said, where did they go? They weren't nesting in the house. No, they found an old bag of manila rope that I had left in the garage, and they built a nest inside the coil of manila rope. Go figure. Okay.
Flower pots.
Yeah, or a flower pot. Yeah, that's another thing. Yeah, so there's a lot of things that birds will do. Now, you got other birds that nest, and will nest in your yard, but they don't use cavities or anything like that. So, like the house finches, like flower pots, they'll get in there. So, when you're out there taking your hanging plants and watering them, just watch it. You may have some house finches living in there, you know. But things like the goldfinches and the cardinals and everything, those guys are going to be out in the bushes. So make sure that you maintain your bushes, have lots of nice bushes for them to be out there. So anyways, that's what I wanted to talk about today. And I'm sorry it took overtime, and I don't know what happened to this business here with the
Yeah.
rotating the...
Hopefully we'll have it figured out by
Yeah.
next week.
Yeah, if we try this again. Okay.
Yeah, crazy.
So, anyways, want to invite you guys out, okay, to our Raptor adventure. Come on out, visit us, and it's by invitation only. So call me up, or or get online, and we can make arrangements for you to come out. And if you're having a special occasion for the family or something like that, come on out and visit us. We'd be happy to see you. And don't forget, Kroger's out there. If you shop at Kroger's, sign up for the Community Rewards Program. That gives us some money. And also, Amazon Smiles. I just got a notice here from Amazon, and they said, we just sent you $206.55.
Oh, yay.
So
Yay.
so that was for the last quarter of last year. I know you guys are buying more than that, but but we get half of 1% of what you guys buy. So go on to Amazon Smile and help us out. So anyway, so this is Bob and Gigi and Nicole and Jillian and the birds. Bye, Frankie.
Bye.
Bye, Frankie. Bye, Marshmallow.
Yeah.
So we're going to say goodbye until next week.
Yep.
And if you have
Yep.
any requests, let us know, okay?
Okay, thanks, everybody.
And I'm going black.
We'll
Wow.
see you next week. Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.